guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are here with a brand new series that is Netflix's Last Samurai Standing. I saw the previews for this and I said, I gotta jump in, because one thing I do love is a good samurai story, and it's been a minute since we've had a decent, I believe this is a J-drama, right? This is Japanese, yes. So it's been a minute since we've had a good one for me to watch. I think the last one I watched was probably The Last Shogun, which I enjoyed, and I don't think this is gonna be on that same level, but you get the point. All I know is that there's apparently some form of a tournament that's supposed to be happening, and we've got a samurai who's on his journey to get to that tournament, and I love the idea of samurai and tournament. Put those two things together and I'm sad. So I'm looking forward to this, hoping I'm going to enjoy it. Let's just jump right into episode 1, which is called Kodoku right now. But just before I do, please do hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I'm going to drop more episodes, and also leave some comments below. It really helps the girl out with the algorithm and I appreciate it very, very much. And if you'd like to watch this reaction without the edits, you can go ahead and check that out on my Patreon. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. I've passed since the appearance of the first samurai. Wow. With one battle, they vanished from history. That's how it goes. History goes to the victor. Why are we fighting? What's going on? Who's winning? Who's the bad guy? Guy is hustling, yo. Jeez Louise. This has been one continuous shot so far. Loving that. Catch your breath, bro. That was a lot. Still same shot, same shot. Boss fight. Right off the rip. Or boss execution. That wasn't even a fight. That is crazy, guys. This has been one shot. Not Western tech. Get in the trench, bro. You might be safer there. That is such an amazing juxtaposition of the manual fighting with swords to suddenly having explosives. Can we give the claps and snaps to that being all? I'm fairly certain this is all one take. So the question is, who fired it? Because they'd have killed everyone. That was not on the side. That was like wipe everybody down there out. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be standing in the open. I don't think they'll send a whole explosive for you, but all one take. Right off the rip, impressive. Because that was a lot. That was a lot to coordinate for one shot. I wonder how many times they had to do that. Baba? Baby's so little. Oh no, they're ill. What's going on? Is it just a, this looks maybe it's like it's more than a flu. Kind of impossible with kids. You want to comfort them. Can't exactly tell them to go away. Oh, why are we bringing out the katana after all this time? Oh, it's a pretty sword. I love the handle. Rusty? Oh, she rusted. That's how long it's been since you fought, huh? They didn't tell us how long it's been, did they? Wow. The PTSD just from touching it. Okay, we are not over that day, having nightmares about it. Haven't picked up the sword to the point where it's rusty. Looks like he tried to put that life behind him. 10 years, okay. Under the new government's modernization policy, samurai become shizoku, stripping them of their privileges and employment. Meanwhile, lives were devastated by a widespread outbreak of cholera. Oh God, that is horrible. And yeah, back then cholera killed you. It could now if you don't have the right medicine. There was a time a samurai sword was worth a lot. He needs money for medicine. He's got to try. He wouldn't be any kind of husband or father if he didn't. Thank you. That'll come back to you in spades, sir, I promise. Kindness never goes unrepaid. What's in Kyoto? Oh, 100,000 yen? Yo, that's enough to like move you someplace healthier. Participants wanted to assemble at Tenjiri Temple in Kyoto. Those who excel in the martial arts. Feel like that's too much of an opportunity not to check out. Look at the clothing. So this was kind of the era when they started to move away from tradition. I love that they're showing the juxtaposition of like their uniforms with this more traditional Japanese clothing. Oh, baby girl. Oh, baby girl, worry about yourself. But that is a horrible disease. Oh, not the double whammy. No, not the babies. At least his wife looks like she's recovering. At least he's not to lose them both. I was terrified that might happen. Not the little feet. Are you guys crazy? Don't do this to me. That's one way to deal with your grief. And the money would make sure you never had to beg again. You see? That's why you didn't take your sword. It's meant for greater things. Oh, he's thinking of the whole village. Really? You need your sword? You sure? You might have to. You better. I like that they kind of show that people grieve differently. Like for her, she's obviously just sick. She was already sick, but you know, she's just kind of like sick and kind of taking it in. But for him, he has to go do something. Oh, look at the difference. I love the mix of genres here. Excuse you, lurking in the shadows, can I help you? Yeah, 100,000 yen is going to get a lot of interested people. Old shogunate. Probably true, because we don't know what happened in that field that day still. Gonna see if you can wield that thing without losing it. Okay. Maybe we're not quite there yet, but you're going to have to push through if you want to do this tournament. Oh, you're going to have a lot of crazy people in this, unfortunately. Thanks, man. And you can already tell what they showed us in that first scene is that he does not like to kill. Like, he went straight for the leader because he didn't want the battle to continue. So for him to do this, I think he's going to have to tap into something pretty dark. Look at the clothes of the people who are officiating. How very interesting. This could also just be a big trap to drown out any last samurai they didn't kill that day. That many men. Do you think that's what's going to take? Actually, they probably have guns. I was going to say, is that going to be enough to suppress a good samurai? But with guns, yes. Can you drop out if you change your mind halfway? Because I feel like some of these guys are going to lose their nerve after the first battle or round of battles. That is a very, very real possibility. They want everybody. Maybe, or people are that desperate to get money. Samurai can't work now. So, who's running this thing? That's my first and most important question. Okay. No last name? Okay. No games. No. I just finished watching Alice in Borderland. No more games. Yes. Oh my god, this is like the prize pig in Squid Games. Let me see that gold. It could be fake. Need to bite it. Well, he's stoked the fires of bloodlust. Great. Yeah, a lot of y'all aren't walking out of here. That's what I thought. Once in, can't get out. Nope, this is very Squid Game-like, right? Could be shady, but look at the shiny money. Abandon all your sins. Oh, he's a cop. Okay. I don't think he cares. Oh, do you? But then, why can't we leave? Exactly. Who's running this? He's got backup. I hope you're that good. This guy isn't scared. You should. Oh. It's already over. Okay. That's the kind of game we're playing. Oh, look at the scar on his face. So they kill cops. Are you still willing to play this game? He needs to die. I can already tell Enju needs to be spanked. You still want to go? At this point, it's pure greed now. Before you could feign ignorance. Now, and it's technically been like 3 minutes. But look at all the greed. I shouldn't say greed. There's desperation in here too. Oh. Ooh, girl, yay! I was hoping there'd be girls competing. We're gonna have some interesting characters in this. I'm excited. Map of Tokaido Road. Okay.
これより皆様に参加していただく遊びの名は
It's called
孤独。そして遊びには掟がつきものです。
This is Squid Game. This is medieval Squid Game.
皆様にはこれから東京を目指していただきます。
首にかけてください。
4つ。
But is it a number?
誰にもこの遊びのことを話してはなりません。
And if I do?
首から外れていた場合、それは離脱とみなします。
But you said I can't withdraw.
1。
It's Squid Game. So they have guns here, guys, and you brought swords to a gunfight. Yo, you have more than a minute to leave, actually. You said 30 seconds. The cop bought you 3 more minutes. You didn't catch that when they killed a cop in front of you?
することをお決めになったんだ。10万円のために。
Yep, it's your greed and desperation.
つまりもう皆さんは1点お持ちなわけだ。
There's a point system
こ
too.
こ天竜寺を抜けるには最低でも2点が必要
So you
とな
gotta
りま
kill
す。
someone right off the bat. Look at that.
本気かよ。
Girl, nothing in life is free. They don't just give away 100,000 yen in this economy.
動乱の時代を駆け抜けた武士の生き残りも多くお見受けいたします。
And you want to wipe out what's last of the samurai.
どうか武士の誇りと強さを。
Homie, I'm gonna need you to get that shake under control, please. Oh no, he just lost his daughter.
なぜ子供が。
Because she
Yeah.
clearly wants the money or needs it. Bro, you know what? I think when he is just about to die, it'll kick in. Where are we going? Everyone's like, Again, can we revisit the rules? Oh, guess he's not about team ups. He's got his point. Bye, extras. Grandpa, what were you doing here? Oh my God, then they're counting too. I don't trust these archers. We don't know. Oh my God, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to push through that PTSD. Gonna need you to push through that PTSD. Bro, come on. God is saving you so far. Okay, maybe yes. Maybe he has to protect somebody. Yeah, I knew he'd think of his baby girl. Why do you keep showing the toes? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Calm down. This is not a sumo ring. If you don't hurry, she's not gonna make it. And you need 2 tags. Okay, that's right. Use them as a walkway. I'm kind of scared of what they might do to the girls on this, though. Honest to God. Notice he hasn't drawn his sword yet. He's just been blocking. I had a feeling he might start that way. Watch, he could turn around and grab his tag. Okay, sis, that's right. Don't play. Yes, sis. I like this guy. Clean, cold. He is probably a sadistic SOB.
さすがは公家の守護神。
Court noble.
お前たちは何を企んで。
東京で
He's not going to answer none of your questions. He's the kind of guy you're going to have to smack around. Oh, we getting art done while we're here?
ありがとうございます。
生き残る気はあるか。
Yeah.
生きて母親を救いたい。
She has her reasons for being there. And yep, all the old men and the people who aren't that strong are going to go for that girl. Bro, I know you don't want to, but you're probably going to have to kill for a tag. Ooh, not the ass! Oh, God! That's right. Let him show him that over body strength. Down with you. Period. There goes your countdown. Girl, put your thing on right now. You gotta put that. That's right. Kill a girl. What's wrong with you? Why is everyone here now? Oh, actually, the water may not have been a bad thing. Any bodies in here you can steal from? No. Yeah, let's not go that way, ever. Who's this man? Don't look this way, don't look this way. Nothing to see here, psycho. Look away.
つでもないか。
You out there for what? This man's killing for fun. He look old, but he quick. Of course, there's always a crazy person who just wants to see someone suffer. Yeah, see, this guy just came to kill. All because he refuses to take a bath. What is in the sky? You saw those lights, right, God? Oh, it's a watchtower. Of course. Bunch of rich bastards trying to get rid of the old remnant.
お楽しみはこれからですよ。
This is literally medieval Squid Game. Okay, we can only hide for so long, bro. You're gonna be stuck in here. You have 1 month, and you can't leave without another tag.
あとはもう目指すだけだ。
いやでもあだが
I'll find it. Oh, God. I'm not one to, rush somebody's healing process, but bro, I'm gonna need you to lock in. Knew it. I'm like, he's gonna get attacked from behind. Oh, what's it gonna take to get Shujiro out of this PTSD?
まあまあ落ち着きや。やる気はあらへんって。俺あげるわ。
何のつもりだ。
Indeed. Nothing comes for free.
不眠、動機、痙攣、戊辰戦争の後、心を患った者は多く
It
いた
makes。sense. It's not lost their minds. It's trauma, bro.
お嬢ちゃんと残ろう思うんやったら、
You're gonna have to
知らん
lock
と無
in.
理やで。
Yeah, I hate to say it.
好きにすればええけどな。
Thank you?
ありがとうございます
Yeah. At the very least.
応援しとるで。
I don't trust him yet, but he gave you a pass. That gives you at least a day, maybe, to get your stuff together, bro. This sumo bastard again. This man wants to fight you bad. You know what's crazy about this is there's probably long-standing grudges some of these guys have because, again, if you got famous enough to have a name... Okay, homie's got moves, though. He said, don't let my size fool you. You do not want to get hit by him, though. I feel like with one hit with that thing, you're going to get cut in half. Yep, sumo pose. Dude, don't. If he's low, that's a problem. Please be quick. Ooh! Yeah, ow. Run. Oh, no. Never mind. Oh, God. Bye, big boy. That's why you don't go for vengeance. You could have gotten your tags and got the hell out.
ありがとうございました
Oh,
知
she's
り
a
合いのや
sweetheart.
りか。気を抜くな。
良き旅を。
Exactly. Something about that man. You know you gotta kill him, right? There's a devil in flesh. It's that guy right there. See, even God thinks this is a dumb idea.
人斬り国衆か。子供連れとは。いや、面白い。
Yeah, it's interesting to see a child in a deathly situation.
代読させていただきます。
Oh my God, it's a novel.
刀を振ることしかできないにもかかわ
You
らず
sure?
権威を振りかざし強者だと
That's what I
勘
thought.
違
This
い
is someone who's trying to get rid of what's left.
滅ぼしましょう武士という名の亡霊たちを
Someone tells me they're gonna surprise you. Because Shijiro doesn't call himself a samurai. He gave up the sword a long time ago.
久しぶりだな。国衆。
Can't say I remember you.
ここに来れば会えると思ってた。
Oh, that's your friend's in, huh? Did you kill the innkeeper? Balls! Kick him in the balls! All these faces. 128 remaining. That's a pretty good number. I actually thought it would be a lot less. Considering it's still going on. It's still happening as we speak. All right, guys. Well, that was the first episode of Last Samurai Standing, and I don't like it. I don't like it a lot. Yes, I love this whole concept. As I said, there's a lot of parallels between this and Squid Game. I feel like I don't know what this is based on. I don't know if this was written recently, but I wouldn't be surprised if inspiration was drawn from Squid Game, and they're just basically putting it in a not medieval, but they're putting it in the past. They decided to throw it back about 900 years, and what happens if we had a tournament of all tournaments tournaments to round up the last remnants of a different era and put them against each other. Some of the best fighters, at least martial arts / sword fighters that were there. And yeah, like, I mean, if you've seen Squid Game, very similar idea, right? Bunch of people who are between either greed or desperation, or in this case, I think a lot of them just really wanted to take some people out. They're all in the same place, and they're assembled with people who, for the most part, consider themselves to be pretty tough fighters. Like, with the exception of this poor girl and, you know, maybe a few other people, I think most of them are probably one of the best fighters, at least in their circle. But a lot of them are there because they're desperate, right? As we saw in the beginning of the show, since the shogunates were shut down, since the way of the samurai was banned, sword bans came in, all that. People who, like samurais for centuries, made their living that way. They had respect in society. They were considered to be kind of above the law. And if you were rolling with a certain group, a clan of samurai, you were kind of untouchable. But with this new era, you know, and again, I love that they're showing through the costuming, the merging of two eras, right? We're in the older era with, you know, people in the villages and their more remote places who are still wearing like the traditional clothing and, you know, still living quite modestly, to coming into Kyoto, where now you're seeing more people wearing the Western clothing and they're using Western weaponry and firearms, right? It's, you know, sadly, one era is ending. Well, maybe not sadly, because I mean, I know the samurai era was not necessarily the kindest era overall, but you get the point. Like, yeah, one era that's kind of on its way out, and then another one that's trying to usher its way in. And, you know, of course, I think most of us know from, if you learned any Japanese history, that it was quite the effort to wipe out that old way. And, you know, people still hung on to it. A lot of people still, you know, had reverence for it, so to speak. And so there was definitely a lot of initiative and a lot of desire to kind of wipe out any remnants of it. But anyway, we're following the story here of Shojiro, who was a samurai who was fighting. We're not exactly sure what that battle was for, who was fighting. Like, they didn't give us any details as to why everybody was fighting everybody. But either way, what I took from that first scene, which, like I said, I gotta give the claps and snaps again. One take is crazy. There's a lot of long takes in this, which is, again, you gotta give the props. You have no idea how hard it is, especially in scenes where you've got a lot of things going on, to make sure that everything goes smoothly and looks good for a one take. So kudos to whoever was behind the camera and directing it, because they were perfectionists to make that work. But back to that first scene, what I picked up of Shojiro is that he was not about the killing, right? We saw that him cutting through that battlefield, you know, yes, he was cutting people down, but it was nothing like, you know, he didn't do anything more than was necessary, right? It was 1 or 2 slashes, that's all he did. Sometimes he didn't even kill them. Sometimes he just gave him a slash across the back or something to incapacitate them so he could keep going. And then he went straight for the other side's leader. He just wanted to end it. And even with that, he killed that leader in 2 strokes. So Shojiro was not about, you know, I don't think he enjoyed killing. I think it was just something he got good at because you kind of had to as a samurai. And he didn't want to continue. Like, you heard, as soon as he killed the leader, he's like, it's over. Everyone stop fighting. Let's end this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've established pretty early that Shojiro is not a lover of death per se. I wouldn't say he's not a lover of violence. He might be good at it, but you get my point. Like, he's not about this. And then we see that somebody decided to use this opportunity to wipe out a good chunk of the best samurai that were there. They were using firearms, they were using explosives, which is not something that was that common during that time. So it was definitely probably an outside party decided this was a good way to get rid of a lot of these guys at one time. And Shojiro, being a survivor of that, he is dealing with the PTSD. 10 whole years later, he still has vivid memories of that day. He's still having nightmares about it, waking up in cold sweats. And then we see that, you know, his life, he definitely is trying to live differently. He got married, he had a couple of kids, living in a small, peaceful town. His sword being left alone for so long that it's rusting. He does not want to do this, right? This is not, you know, he had no desire to go back to that life. I don't even think he calls himself, right? He goes by his name. He's not going by Kohaku the Slayer, right? He doesn't want to be known as that anymore. He's like, I am now Shojiro. I have a wife, I have a family. And the only reason he is here is because, as we see, things are desperate, right? These former samurai can't find work elsewhere, somewhat because of their skill set, but also probably because of a prejudice that's being spread. And we see in his case, his village is poor. There's an outbreak of cholera that's going through. And unfortunately, he lost his beautiful little girl to it. And he's just like, maybe he feels like if he could have had more money or more means, he would have been able to get her better care, or maybe move them someplace away from all the illness. But either way, you know, his reason for joining was more for survival. And I also think that, as I said earlier in the episode, to deal with his grief over his daughter. People deal with grief in different ways. Some people kind of need to cry it out. out and, you know, just kind of be still for a while other people need to keep doing things, need to keep moving, need to feel like they're making themselves useful so they don't have to dwell on those negative emotions. And I feel like that's what Shijiro is. He's more the person who feels like he's got to do something with that. And so he decided to enter this tournament, even though, well, he didn't really know what it was about. They were, of course, very willfully vague, but, you know, we see that he still has strong PTSD about the sword. Everything about it brings him back to that fateful day. And it's probably not a good place to be in a tournament where, unfortunately, killing is going to have to happen. We see that thus far, though, I really like that they show that he hasn't actually pulled his sword from the sheath yet. All of his battles, he's used the sword inside the scabbard and, you know, showed that he's got immense martial arts skill, but that's only going to take him so far, right? And that's why we saw that one guy who decided to save their bacon and gave Shojiro the tag from the guy. He said, you know, and I love that he kind of just called it. He's like, he called it psychological, but he's like, you got PTSD, bro. You're not the only one, but since you're here and you had 3 minutes to leave, I'm calling it 3 minutes because that police officer gave them a lot of extra time to get out. But anyways, you had a chance to leave. You chose not to. So if you're going to be here, and especially if you want to protect this girl who clearly reminds you of your daughter, you're going to have to lock in. And unfortunately, you're probably going to have to swing that sword. It's not to say he has to kill them. We all know that he just has to get the tag, but he's going to have to do something. The using the scabbard's only going to get him so far. So yeah, I really like this. As I said, it definitely has some parallels to some other shows I've seen, but I like that we've got this introduction to Shijiro. I forgot the girl's name. It will come to me. And they made sure to pan to several faces throughout this to let us know that we'll probably be seeing them at some point, or these are people are going to go up against Shijiro at some point. And I do think that this whole tournament, should he make it to the end, which I'm feeling like he's our lead, so he will. I think it's going to be a healing journey for him as well to push through a lot of that trauma that he still got locked from 10 years in the past. And then maybe we'll see what happens with who's actually running this thing. Like, who is the person who created this Kodoku, right? His sentiment in that letter says that he's got a real personal vendetta against samurai. And the fact that, because a lot of these samurai, like I said, they're just living their lives, minding their business for the most part. So for him to create a situation that draws them out just to wipe them out, or actually have them wipe each other out, that screams vendetta to me. So hopefully more of that plot will unfold with more of the season, but I think this was a strong opener. I enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.